Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, FD for Sage5.tv, and today in this video, I want to highlight something that many people might not be thinking about. What happens when Ethereum's foundation shudders or when Ethereum itself crashes? Because we are saying Ethereum is the leading layer 1 for smart contracts and it is the ecosystem for DeFi. So what if something happens to Ethereum and it crashes? What happens? That's what we want to explore here so that we bring light to some of these areas so that when people are making decisions to invest their hard-earned cash, they actually make a rounded opinion using plenty of information, including what we're going to share with you in this video. Having said that, guys, this is not financial advice. These are just my own opinion, the way I see things, and I'm trying to integrate risks into my decision making, and I hope you want to do the same as well. But if you actually want financial advice, guys, I urge you to seek someone who is actually trained to give you financial advice, who's got the qualifications. I'm just some dude on the internet who loves everything crypto. That said, guys, if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to our channel. And if you're from the UK, please do not watch any crypto-related content. We will definitely want that, but the UK authorities do deem anything crypto-related to be extremely risky, and they're trying to protect you just in case you end up losing your funds. That said, guys, let's come back to the subject matter then. What happens if Ethereum's foundation shudders? Imagine launching a rocket into orbit only for its central command module to malfunction mid-flight. Chaos ensues as astronauts scramble, unsure whether to activate emergence protocol or bail to lifeboats. In the crypto cosmos, Ethereum's mainnet is that command module. If it fails through a catastrophic bug, coordinated attack, or collapsed trust, the entire DeFi universe finds itself orbiting in 0G. What lifelines remain? Let's chart the fallout. That's what we want to chart in this video. The first thing you need to be considering is asset freezes and network paralysis. Should Ethereum crash via a bug that compromises consensus or forks it beyond recovery, L2s and dApps might become frozen or unusable. Users could still redeem assets via L1 fallback, but access will be slow, expensive, and stressful. Next, you got drained revenue and economic collapse. Ethereum's own economic model is suffering. Post-Dencun upgrades slashed base fees, causing L1 revenues to collapse by up to 99%, even in the middle of saging L2 traffic. So if the L1 fails outright, fee generation stops and token bans hold, disabling its monitoring mechanisms entirely. Next, governance, disruption, and crisis response. Beyond technical failure, reputational collapse looms. Ethereum devs have no clear playbook, from Daniel Ryan's cautionary remarks at the ETH conference to bleak scenarios involving mass ETH inflation. Even then, remediation would likely demand painful forks, emergence coordination, or external intervention, a trust killer for institutions. Next, emergence EVM copycats and L1 defectors. In the void, competitors like Solana, Sui, and many others may seize the moment, but restructuring core Ethereum tech into new chains runs into interoperability and fragmentation hurdles. Ethereum Classics offers continuity, yet its dwindling development and staking capabilities put it out of contention. So how do we design the rescue hatches, and what are the trade-offs? Let's start with Ethereum Classics, its pros and cons. It is EVM compatible, which will be a nice fallback, but the disadvantage is that it is outdated, lower developer activity, and it now has its proof of work limitations. Moving on to based rollups or decentralized layer 2s. Well, the advantage is that they are secure, autonomous operation, but they also need layer 1 for settlement, complexity, slower throughput. What about other layer 1s like Sui, Solana, Cardano, Polkadot, BNB, and so forth? Well, they are high performance, fresh ecosystems, but they may be incompatible architectures and there is adoption lag. What about mainnet emergence fix or fork for Ethereum itself? It is an immediate continuity potential, but community division might hamper that, trust could be eroded, and governance will be in chaos. Next, let's look at the freeze and wait approach, where we can freeze the network, awaiting a solution to emerge. The advantage of that is it preserves assets via layer 1 using snapshots, but the disadvantage is that the economy will have shut down and there will be system paralysis. So, what do I think as far as this subject is concerned? If Ethereum shuts down, what are my final thoughts? What do people need to do, or what are the ramifications? Well, if Ethereum's mainnet buckles, the DeFi universe is like a ship with its radar broken. L2s drift aimlessly, competing layer 1 scramble patch new sail, and Ethereum Classic, once a rebel, offers only a shaky dingy. What are we likely going to see in this scenario? Well, we may see a synchronized emergency safe pump, like activating gravity boots mid-spacewalk, but realistically expect temporary chaos, growth of side chains, and a painful reorientation of the ecosystem. Ethereum's backbone failing will be the greatest disaster recovery test in crypto history, and a reminder that the strongest chains are only as resilient as the layers that support them. So what are those layers around Ethereum? Are the existing layer ones designed to capture Ethereum when it falls, or are they well placed to take over what Ethereum is currently doing? That is the question. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comment section. What do you think will happen, and how do you think the ecosystem, the crypto ecosystem as a whole, will handle this? There will be some who are maxis who will be laughing at Ethereum, not realizing this could be the end of the industry if it's not handled well. Why? Because Ethereum is where most of the activity, especially in DeFi, is taking place, and that might end up affecting all the other blockchains or ecosystems. Why? Because people will be thinking, if this can happen to Ethereum, it's going to happen to Solana, Cardano, and the rest. So it's not something to scoff at, it's something to be taken seriously. But having said that, I would still want to know your thoughts. What do you think will happen, and how do you think this will be handled? Are the other layer ones well placed? Take over. That's what we want to know. Maybe form the footnote for the next discussion. Until the next one, guys, FD465.tv signing out for now. Bye.